All right, so one of the keys when you're buying a pool is knowing that you have all the right information to make the decisions that you need to make, that take into account your style, your budget, your lot, and what's really possible. So this client here, they actually found me through social media. She said that she enjoyed the truck talks for the transparency and the education she got. She thought that we would be out of her price budget based on what she saw. She called out a few contractors. You know, it was hit and miss. Some didn't show up. Some would show her a really fancy design and then didn't have any work to show for it. On our stuff, she saw cool designs, actual work being done. She felt that there was a level of transparency and trust that she wanted to take on. So we decided to draw something up for her, talk some numbers, no time wasted, got straight to the point, and 5 weeks later, we're digging this hole. So this is day one at the Merino project. Whenever you're in a neighborhood like this, you know, this is a nice neighborhood in Riverside County. There's always going to be an HOA or a homeowners association. Sometimes they're a little bit more difficult to work with in the actual city. We had permits about 3 weeks ago. We had a harder time getting HOA approved for simple things like where are you going to come in from, what damage are you going to do, what's your plan to replace it. For us, it looks like a standard block wall. Apparently it's a earthquake proof Pronto special engineered wall, so they wanted to make sure that we had the proper certifications to be able to rebuild it. So those are the little things to consider when you meet with the HOAs. You have to have clear plans, show exactly what you plan to build, what are the plants, what are the sizes, where are they going, and you might ask yourself, why do they care? They don't pay the bills, right? I think the same thing, but it's a game we have to play, and thankfully we got approved, and here we are digging a day later, so day one. Today we got a custom geometric pool, fully loaded backyard with 200 feet of retaining wall, a fireplace, a raised spa, a lot of turf and concrete. What we have on day one is a demo and excavation, so we have to find an entrance point. This property was fully landscaped in the front, so we wanted to make sure that we provided least amount of damage possible, so we decided to enter from the street side. Makes it a little bit more difficult. It's a special engineered wall, but at the end it saves you all the money on what we have to spend on repairing it. So what you're seeing right now is them getting prepared to form the pool, so we have to remove all the grass, cap all the sprinklers, remove the hillside, and this crew is actually going to do the footings at the same time because it'll be more difficult to do once we have a hole in the ground. So we're making a couple of adjustments on site. We have approved plans. If you're wondering what type of changes you can do once you start digging, as long as you respect the setbacks, meaning the distance between your structures and the property lines, you should be able to shift the pool a foot or two without major issues with either the county or the HOA. So this is what we got. It's a very modern design, a lot of green. We have a 500 square foot pool with an enlarged spa, raised. It'll have a fireplace in the back with the elevated pad and retaining wall. So a lot of these homes, they have large lots. You're paying property taxes on every square foot of it, and if you can't use it, it's a waste of money in our opinion. So spend the money, get retaining walls, buy yourself some more space. At the end of the day, you're gonna get to use what you're actually paying taxes for. So when you have a hillside like this, you know, the smart thing to do is spend the money, take some of the dirt off, put a retaining wall. You're gonna buy yourself a lot more yard. So these folks have been used to this house the way it is with the slope taking up half of their yard. They're gonna spend money on a retaining wall, back it with a barbecue in this area, with a cantilever patio, a nice pool spread across the whole yard. Yes, it's not cheap. Nothing's cheap these days, but at the end of the day, it's your home, your forever home, and you gotta make it yours. So spend the money, make it yours. One tip when you're doing excavations, there's no way around it. You're gonna have a mess. It's probably hard for the neighbors to accept, but one thing you can do is make sure that each crew, even if they're not done digging today, we make sure that we shovel out all the excess dirt, wash off the sidewalk, because there's going to be people walking here in the evening and you don't want to look like a dirty contractor leaving a mess, right? We're going to be here tomorrow, make another mess, but you want to keep it as clean as possible after each day. So a quick tip, make sure you pressure wash your track marks. If you got tracked equipment, make sure you have somebody sweeping, clean up the street, because some cities will even fine you. If they leave dirt or anything in the street, it gets into the gutters, they'll end up fining you. So very important, have somebody dedicated to ensuring the job site is clean. I require my guys shoot me a picture whatever time they leave today. I make sure that it's all clean before they take off for the day. So. All right, so a lot of people ask, you know, what does a project of this magnitude take? How long is it going to take you to build? You know, this is a custom pool with a lot of retaining wall, a custom outdoor kitchen, a balcony, custom deck, a lot of turf. We budgeted 12 to 14 weeks for this project. That's giving us some grace period to account for things like the rain, materials. The smart thing to do is when you're building a pool is make sure you pre-order everything. We already have all the tile, all the material that it's going to take to build this pool. It's already purchased and available, so when it comes time to install it, we don't have to call around and find out where it's at. So take a couple tips, buy your stuff early, get your equipment early. Prices change every day, so the sooner you can have it on station and be ready to rock and roll, the better you're going to be in the long run. So 12 to 14 weeks for a project like this, typical build 7 to 8. Homeowner just asked me where we put in the equipment. So a couple things that go into that decision are, where's the closest run from the main? So the main is your main service panel where your power is coming from, and your gas meter. In this case, they're both on the left side of the property, so it makes sense to put the equipment on the left side of the property. Now here's the catch. There's two pipes coming from here. You have a 1-inch electrical and you have an 1.5 inch gas line with about 50 feet of space. From the equipment, you're gonna have about 20 pipes coming out. So you wanna keep the equipment as close as possible to the pool without being an eyesore. So we try to find the happy middle, make it cost effective for the homeowner, keeping the equipment out of sight. And in this case, we have to even move AC units to make room for where we wanna put the equipment. So that's a tip for you guys. Always find out where the panel is at and find the shortest run to save some money. You know, there's a certain way to go about it. Some people are strictly dollar amounts, right? What's your budget? I hear a lot of homeowners coming to my office saying, hey, I called so-and-so. They said, unless I'm spending 150, 200K, you know, don't bother. There shouldn't really be a limit. I get it, if you're busy, you're busy. What's more important is your character, the type of people you are, and we have one threshold. If we want to hang out with you guys after we're done, I want to do your pool. It doesn't matter if you're spending 40K or 400K. It's important who you are and the family that you are and the character you bring. So how we got to this design here, they reached out. I asked them a little bit about their social setting. What's the demographics? You have kids, you have elderly family that's going to be here. This is people who are in the entertainment business. They do a lot of hosting. They have artists that like to spend time here. So we want to make it an entertainer's delight. So this is how we got to the full package with a complete custom pool, the outdoor living, a barbecue so they can spend time outside, a patio cover, a lot of lighting, and beautiful landscape. So some of the questions we ask is, can we go in your house? I want to get the vibe as you're walking out from the living room or your great room or your dining room to kind of see what your windows are pointing to, so we can provide a good angle. It's got to look like an art piece from every angle. So I know it's a weird concept. Hey, can I go to your house? I'm a pool builder. What do I need to see your kitchen for? But what we're trying to get after is the vibe and make it flow from inside and out where possible. So that was the vibe here. We wanted to go clean, timeless, modern. We weren't sticking to the house. The house has a kind of a standard color. They told me they were looking to paint it, so I went with what's the to be versus what's the current situation now. So all this is going to be white, timeless, classic, along with some modern touches, bringing in the tile wrapping and the turf. So can't wait to show you guys this in a couple weeks. You won't even recognize that there was a hill in this backyard.